Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Ken. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's time again for another knife of the day. This is the series where I go through my entire collection, my entire knife collection, one knife at a time, one day at a time. Yeah, we're way over 230 knives right now. My entire Spyderco collection is up. We're going through the Chris Reeve knives, the Microtech automatics, and the Brous blade knives right now. And then we'll get to Striders and Hinderers and customs and case knives all later on. Today is the first of my Brous blade knives collection. The knife of the day is the Brous Blades Division Flipper. Jason Brous is a young knife maker, and I'll tell you, about 3 years ago when I started collecting, 2.5 years ago when I started collecting more expensive knives. For a long time, I just did the Spyderco value knives, and I love that. And then I finally broke over the $100 a knife barrier for the Spyderco Techno. That was my first knife over $100. And then I just went crazy, right? With Chris Reeve knives and all kinds of knives. Well, I discovered Jason Brous on YouTube. People were talking about, it probably was Skelton who talked about him first that I caught up. Jim Skelton, when I was first checking out YouTube to find out more about knives. And then everyone, I kept hearing about Jason Brous, young guy doing mid-tech knives. That means a lot of it is done by him, but he sends out some of the work. Nowadays, it seems like every knife is a mid-tech, but that was before then. And so I started looking at his knives, and I went through a whole Silent Soldier thing, and when we get to the Silent Soldiers, you'll see just how crazy I am about those knives. And remember I told you I like small knives? Well, I bought a lot of Jason Brous's knives. It's probably my third largest. It is my third largest collection after Spyderco and Chris Reeve. I haven't bought a lot of his newer knives, just one of his newer ones, but I bought a lot of his stuff when he was first starting to break it big, and I love every one of them. One of my favorite knives is this biggie, the Division Folder. It's so big. Now, some of the, I'm going to compare it to the Spyderco Military and the Chris Reeve Sabenza so that you can see just how big. It's so big but so well made that people asked for a mini, and he did a mini Division. We'll get to that later on as we go through this collection. So this is the blacked out version. The one thing I love about Jason Brous is when he makes a knife, first they're limited. This was limited to 500. But the other thing is he always offers the same knife within that 500, or I've gotten some knives that were limited to 100, and we'll get to those. He always offers a blacked out version, a stonewash version, a satin blade version, and an acid stonewash version. You'll see a lot of those as we go through this. I fell in love with his blacked out versions, especially knives that I consider to be tactical, and this beast is pretty tactical. So Jason Brous loves D2 steel. That is his favorite steel. Every knife that I own of his is D2. He believes he has that heat treatment down pat for D2, and I agree with him. It's just a wonderful steel that he feels comfortable with. This has the black Cerakote finish on it. Oh, it's a beast. 4.4 inches. That's the drop point that you're looking at. It has a high hollow grind. 4.4 inches. The entire knife 9.8 inches. But man, it's 5.7 ounces, but it just doesn't feel that heavy. I handle smaller knives that for some reason seem so much heavier. Now again, this is a long knife, right? Just shy of 10 inches, so, and it's really balanced very, very well. The thing about his knives too is for a big blade like that, it flies out. It really flies out there. Now, obviously, he has a big cutout at the top of his blade that takes some of the weight of the blade away from you, but man, it does fly out there. See-through construction on this. This is carbon fiber. Most of the knives that I bought from Jason was carbon fiber knives. And you know, these were up there. These were more expensive than Chris Reeves Sabinza's because they were mid-tech and limited, etc. I have different versions of this knife, and we'll get to those as we go through the collection. But man, it feels so great. The 3D molding, the quality of the carbon fiber is just really top notch. He has a little bit of jimping that doesn't, it's kind of, I think it's more for design than anything else, you know. I'm not a big jimping guy. This you can barely feel. This was one of his earlier knives too, and he started doing a little bit more with jimping. Just a real nice knife. Okay, so, come on, clear up for me. That's shocking. Come on, clear up. I usually don't have problems with this. I think because it's blacked out. With the focusing. It has a liner lock. It's very good. The flipping action, like I said, just flies out there. In there, the liner across from the lock is heavily, I can't show it on this iPhone, heavily skeletonized. That's another reason. Now, it's still 5.7 ounces. It could really have been even heavier, but he really skeletonized it. Man, just let me tell you, it feels so good in my hands. It really does. The clip, deep carry clip, right hand tip up only. Later on, in some of his later knives, he allows you to move it left hand or right hand. Man, I love the feel of this knife. I love having this knife because it is tactical when I need something just in case. I'm not in a lot of knife fights, but you know, every now and then you just want to have it handy. What a wonderful knife. This is the Brous Blades Division Flipper. It's a big beast of a knife. This is the blacked out version. Later, he came up with the mini division because everyone loved it. We'll go through those as well. I like the big ones. That's one of the knives where I actually like the bigger knife. That is the Spyderco Military, one of the bigger military folders. I mean, one of the bigger Spyderco folders, and you can see where that stacks up. And there's the Chris Reeves Sabinza. That's it. That's the knife of the day. It's the Brous Blades Division Flipper blacked out version. Hey, a lot of Brous blades coming your way. Believe you me. He's just one of my favorites. There you have it. If you're enjoying this series, don't forget to thumb it up. Keep me going. We've got several months to go as we go through the collection with the knife of the day. And that just keeps me going right before I go off to work. Don't forget to subscribe. That really helps me. And once you subscribe, there's a little bell. Hit that. Okay? That makes sure that you hit all of the videos, because I do from time to time do special videos as well. I really appreciate all of you. Have a great day. No. Have a perfect day. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.